Hi, Stephen.
Yes?
This is Clem Fandango.
Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
Hi, Stephen.
Vamos!
No, what am I saying? What, this? It's nothing. Really, it's nothing, Ed. It's just, it's just vocal minority with Nick and Steve.
Have a good time. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened.
Okay, you little bastards. The time has come. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's the vocal minority with Nick and Steve Olabruski. Let's go.
Hello to you, and welcome to the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Olabruski.
Welcome to the show.
We are back at it for another exciting, enthralling episode of this podcast today, and you're here for it, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. We keep coming back every week, so, thanks for not making us be crazy. I always say, radio people, talk show hosts, like, we are crazy for a living. We just sit in a room alone and talk to ourselves, laugh at ourselves, critique ourselves. Like any other job, you'd be crazy for doing what we do. But
do you feel alone when we're in here? Like, even if Brewski and I weren't here, I mean, we've done, all of us have done, solo air shifts. Yeah. I never felt alone, dude.
No. I don't feel alone now or when I'm doing radio alone. I'm just saying, technically, I am alone in a room. Talking to myself, laughing at myself. So by most standard definitions, that makes us a little crazy. But we're here for you, the listening audience, and beyond. So find the website, thevocalminority.net. You can find our social medias. We've got them, so you should go look at them. And we have a phone number, too. You can call and comment on the socials, on the podcast, on whatever you want to do. You do you, okay? It's
844. Let's do it in unison.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
8 okay 844
44.
Yeah. Hey, dude, speaking of that phone number, 844-48-VOCAL, we got a call that we're going to have to play back at some point today. Maybe I don't know if maybe we should even start the show out with it because it's calling up a past episode. That's how the comment line works. You got to comment on the show, and then we'll address it for you.
Okay. What's the topic? Is it sandals or parenting or what? Which one was it?
This is the topic of the little Steve did a story with a little kid making silly faces behind his dad. Okay. His dad's a politician, and if you listen to the podcast, you get it.
Let's not start with it. I hate to set this show up by knowing everybody, but there's going to be a theme with today's news selections from me.
Okay.
My old favorite themes, everybody. It's called Steve was right, so stop fucking questioning me. I'm so sick of it. I hate that people describe me as a nice, solid, intelligent man, but then I make some assertion. Everyone's like, no, you fucking idiot. That's wrong. So,
well, that's why we're here.
Yes, we will debate. We will discuss. So I have that on my list, actually, the parenting thing. So I would like to know what the comment line has to say, and we'll have it ready when we get there. We'll jump on in.
Okay, that sounds good. Here we roll into not only a big show, but this is a big time of year for a lot of people. Some people will be soon empty nesters. Graduations are happening. Kids or adults are ending their school and are about ready to head out into the world. Steve had that experience this past week. I'm wondering how you're feeling from it.
Yeah, no, Neo did graduate high school, 18 years. I remember when I found out I was going to be a dad, I just kind of had a mental clock going for age 18, graduate from high school. Like, that's my main mission in life now. I remember doing the math and thinking like 2024 is when this kid's going to graduate. That's a lifetime from now.
Right. Listen,
anyways, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great, dude. I couldn't help but get a little nostalgic and just remember Neil was such a tiny little baby, dude. And even a toddler, she was so tiny. And just to see her as an adult, full form person and ready to go, like, it's just crazy to me, dude. It's crazy.
You're accurately describing the growth process of a human, yes. Well, they start up very tiny and then they get bigger.
Neil was exceptionally tiny, dude.
She was like premature or something.
No. I'm just saying that they were a tiny person. And I don't know. It's weird to see him as an adult now.
For sure. And yeah, I don't know, Nick, any other thoughts or comments on that? Or?
How much was in that? They were wearing a cash lei. How much money was in that lei, dude? I was trying to guess, and I guessed, that lei's probably got about $120 in it. How much was in it? Do you know?
I have no idea whatsoever. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Enough to get you laid in California, but not in Nevada. The prices are higher over here. So
That's true.
Yeah. But so no, that was good. And yes, the gray is sneaking in on me. And I have found of late, no, I shouldn't even say of late. I have found that throughout the course of my entire life, these 48 and a half years I've been living, I want to say I've been somewhat of a true fashionista to myself in my physical appearance and the way I dress. But
yeah,
boy, from my dad to my girlfriend to my compadres on the show, I just keep getting comments on the way I dress. And I can't tell if I should conform or push back even harder.
There's a distinction here, okay? Because
we're not telling you what to wear. We just had a question about the combination you had going on there. That's all. No one was saying you have to wear this.
Questioning what I'm wearing, though.
No, the only question
it's an odd combination. That's all.
Is it?
The only question is you've never done it before. So are you falling to the comments of your dad and other people? Because I've never seen you wear a dress shirt with a print t-shirt before.
Okay, first of all, I don't know that this is a dress shirt. It's a blue shirt. If I button it up and put a tie on, I guess it becomes a dress shirt, but it's just a blue shirt. It's a button up. I mean,
it's dress shirt material, though.
Exactly. That's what it looks like from here. You know.
No, questioning why you made the change. Sure. And don't act like you've never fucking questioned anything, dude. I remember women's glasses, I remember comments being made. So don't take it personal.
Oh, no, I'm not taking it personally. And yes, women, Nick does wear women's glasses. I'm not saying I don't ever comment on others. I'm saying I'm getting it a lot recently. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess for the interweb, I'll stand up and show you the full look here, which, by the way, I'm wearing ripped jeans today too, so I don't know.
Yeah, well,
sometimes I look in the mirror and I think, yeah, that's a good combo. It's a good look.
You're like a human mullet, dude.
Well,
you're party in the front and business on the shoulders.
I don't know. I thought this was an interesting combination. So,
as long as you're feeling comfortable in it, right? That's
do we
all
show
that
up to
matters.
fashion shows and be like, that's new and different? I don't like that.
Sometimes we do.
Actually.
I mean, it's actually, those are made to judge, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
That's fair. You're correct. Though.
Hey, you want to know?
I just thought I don't know. I've been getting grief about T-shirts and stuff of late, and I thought I'd put a collar on today, and I thought blue looked good with black.
Well, yeah. Well, my only question at the seed of this. Okay, at the seed of this is, are you doing it for your girlfriend or your father? Because they made comments. Did that come into your mind at all?
Yes.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong either way. I'm just curious to know because how long have I known you now, dude?
700 years.
Yeah. I mean, a long time, for way more than half my life. So, yeah, I've never seen it. So I just thought the timing of the change was.
I wear a lot of collared shirts, and I prefer to wear them open with some sort of T-shirt underneath. But I don't know. Sometimes I push the limits. I think that's okay. So.
Well, good for you, dude. I'm glad you find it all right. I'm uncomfortable with it. Welcome to the show. It's the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Olabruski. Everything's not always comfortable around here, ladies and gentlemen, but you better get comfortable because we're about to do some news.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
I need to know!
He needs to know, and he needs to know now.
Before we meet, there's some news you need to know about.
I need to know. I need to know now.
Needed to know.
Need to know.
I need some news. I need some news.
The news needs to come from me.
The news has come.
Best news I've heard all day.
Okay, everybody, time to shut up and listen. This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
News.
You're right into the news cycle of the day.
Steve Harness.
Right. Now, listen, I got plenty of Trump stories sitting here, but I'm just exhausted by politics, by everything going on there. So maybe I'll get to some of those at some point. And if you guys have them, I'm all for discussing it. But I'm just I'm filtering my news story slightly today. And I didn't do this on purpose, but I started to notice a trend developing. So, yes, these will all spark. Steve thinks he was right. because, hey, there are some things that are right and wrong, and there are some things that are opinion, like fashion or parenting or, things like that. But
sure.
But what fun is it to be wishy-washy? So let's start off this first story. And yes, Nick, this is the parenting topic, so you can have your voicemail ready to go.
All right.
Okay, this starts off somewhat trivial, I suppose, but Kim Kardashian is being called out after she complained about having to spend her birthday with who? Her children.
Kids.
Her kids?
As you're probably aware, Kim Kardashian shares 4 children with her ex, Kanye West. 10-year-old North, 8-year-old Saint, 6-year-old Chicago, and 5-year-old Psalm.
Psalm?
Yeah,
isn't that how you say that word?
Yeah, that's how you say it. Yeah, Psalm.
Right. So weird, but whatever. That's bad parenting right there, quite frankly. Any of these names for your children, but you'll never find any of those on a keychain either, Mom. So just so you know. The star has been increasingly honest about how much she is struggling as a single parent after her and Ye split back in 2021. Okay. Now, first of all, bullshit right there. Yeah, I know you're technically a single parent, but you're also a multimillionaire who I guarantee has a full-time living nanny. So go fuck yourself with being a single working parent, okay?
Come on, it's so different than you're trying to relate to. I mean, I'm sure you have a staff of nannies, and you do what you want with your kids when you want.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the life you live.
So we do know, by the way, for context to add to this for you guys, that as of right now, her net worth is $1.7 billion.
Billion. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Listen, that is such a blessing. If you have that much money and you're a parent, I know there's still stresses. I know being a parent is never easy per se, but if you can afford full-time around-the-clock care, traveling with you, probably living in her home, like, fuck yourself, okay? So just stop right there. But again, that's the least of what's irritating me with her. So she got brutally honest about the situation on her family reality show that apparently just aired, where she said, "I can't do it anymore." At the time, Kardashian evoked some sympathy from viewers who acknowledged how tough it could be to balance children and a career. Sure, for normal humans.
Yeah.
However, Kardashian's comments about her kids on this week's episode of the show haven't been so well received, with the star being called out after she likened spending her birthday with her children to torture.
What do you mean to torture?
Yeah. She says, quote, "I thought my birthday, I'd have the day to myself. I was stuck doing everything that everyone else wanted to do. I was stuck watching YouTube unboxing videos on my birthday. I had a FIFA tournament. Color me mine. You could see the ugly thing that I made." She's doing arts and crafts with her kids. She says, this is not what I wanted to do on my birthday. I need to sit down with my kids and be like, this isn't Mother's Day. Like, this is my day. Do you think a mom wants to go to Color Me one more time on her birthday? I mean, whose birthday is it?
Dude, I mean, I don't even know where to start with all of this, but let's put an end to this deal as adults where our birthday, or some people have a birth week or birth month, that our birthday is something like you got to work on your, you know what, if you can take the day off on your birthday because you want to go do something, I'm fine. But so many people are like, I got to work on my birthday. It's your fucking birthday, dude. I mean, no one cares. No one, your friends, your family, they may care, but like the world as a whole, who fucking cares?
Do you know how many, and it usually it's always women that it happens to, in my car, how many times I hear them talking about their birth week or their birth month. This is the end of my birth month. And I'm just like, really? Adults with birthday things? I mean, come on.
If it's one of the marquee birthdays, I'll cut you a little more slack. But yeah, Nick, you're right. Like, so many adults have turned their birthday into what is apparently a national holiday now that we're all supposed to honor for days and weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Yes. My gosh.
Listen,
you know what I care about is did I wake up on the right side of the dirt? Like, it's just another day. Sure, I can reflect, and maybe a few people say, happy birthday, and I hope it's a good year. All my birthday is used for these days anyway is for reflection internally of what I might be able to do better in the upcoming year. Sure. Aside from that, I don't really care about my birthday, dude.
Yeah, and listen, if you want to carve out a couple hours or something to go do something alone that's just for your, then carve it out. And don't tell me Kim Kardashian cannot have her nanny watch the kids for a couple hours while she did whatever the fuck she thinks she wants to do. Which, by the way, do you want to hear what her ideal birthday is?
Does it include Ray J, or like is it another porno? I mean, I would like to see another porno at some point.
Maybe,
I'm sure there's shopping and some sort of massage or something.
Well, she says her perfect birthday would be to lock my door, knock it out of bed, eat cookies and ice cream all day long. That's what would have been my dream. But no one cares about my dreams. Not my kids, at least.
This is a joke. I mean,
but you know what it is, Nick? Not everyone needs to be a parent.
True.
The other thing too is, let's think about this. If she didn't have any of those kids with Kanye, because she knew the marriage wasn't gonna last.
I was just going to say, what is her implication that if Kanye was in the picture, they'd be good co-parents together?
This would be easier somehow.
But think about this. She's got at least 4 hooks in him. And that's not just alimony, but child support. That's why she had the kids in the first place. So she could get as many hooks in as she possibly could.
I ain't saying she's a gold digger, dude, but she's a gold digger. I promise you.
Didn't Kanye write a song called Gold Digger?
Yes. Yeah.
And please don't tell me she's getting child support out of him. I mean, good grief.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Google that. I can't imagine a judge would have born a billionaire child support. But this country
I don't know. I bet she is. He's got responsibilities, dude. Just because you make good money doesn't mean that lets the other person off the hook, especially if you're wealthy.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay. At the current time, he's worth $400 million.
So he's worth less than her.
Well, he was worth $2 billion, but then after Adidas and other companies cut their ties with him due to his anti-Semitic and erratic behavior, he's now worth $400 million.
He's still worth $400 million even after all that shit. That's kind of sad.
Crazy. Yeah.
She also, an article I read a couple of weeks ago that I almost brought in. Brewski just gasped. What?
He pays her $200,000 a month in child support per kid.
Wow.
Per kid? He pays her almost $1 million?
Yes.
$800,000 a month?
I'm looking at it.
$800,000 a month he pays?
It says here, Kanye West to pay Kim Kardashian $200,000 per month in child support as divorce settled. This is from November 30th of 2022.
Wow. That is unbelievable. So stop your bitching even more now, Kim Kardashian.
Right. No, that's craziness. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. And she said in an article a couple of weeks ago that she won't tell her kids no because she just hates to hear them whine and complain, and they won't let her off the hook. So I just tell them yes to whatever it is. Like,
that's called bad parenting. Come on. I mean, that is bad parenting. The way you're an entitled biatch for most of the time. I mean, I'm not saying you haven't done some great things, but can you imagine how entitled those kids are going to be, dude?
Right. You are raising shitty little humans and you're a shitty parent. And this is one of the times the interweb calling you out is correct. Like, good fucking God, you've got to tell kids no. You've got to course correct bad behavior. You've got to be willing to spend your goddamn birthday with your children. They're supposed to love you. They want to spend your day with you too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sometimes when I was a kid, we used to, those were the days that, maybe we make breakfast in bed for a parent or something. Like, it's the kid celebrating you. I mean, once you have kids, aren't they supposed to be the most important thing in your life? Right. So why wouldn't you want to hang out with them, you greedy bitch?
Yes, exactly. So yes, this is a glaring example of bad parenting, and she's probably somebody that a lot of parents out there are emulating in the wrong way, where they see her say crap like this, and they're like, "Yes, that way too. I don't want to spend my day with my kids either. I don't want to tell them no either. Kim Kardashian seems to be doing fine. I'm gonna follow her."
Exactly. Maybe we should just fact check the three of us are right on this. Okay.
That's the fact.
Oh, okay. It's been certified. Okay.
So there you go. So yes, this does bring up our social media post of this last week, one of them, and a discussion we had a week or so ago. So just to recap, this congressman brought his kid on the floor of the Congress, and while dad was giving a speech, the kid was behind him making silly faces. And the kid was 6 years old, so that means he's a first grader. And I said that it was an example of shitty parenting. That, I know kids will be kids, but that's when parents have to be parents. And when kids do bad things, you're supposed to turn that into like a teachable moment. And you should talk to them. You should try to course correct. So I believe both of you more erred on the side of kids will be kids. I did post this on the interweb and got a good amount of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either of us were ever saying that you shouldn't have a talk with your kids, but having the expectation that this would never happen, I said was naive, so.
Yeah.
So that's what you said was naive, that it wouldn't happen, not that you shouldn't course correct after.
Yeah, well, and that you're so surprised by it, that you were so shocked by the fact this kid would do it.
I wasn't surprised that a kid would be immature. I was surprised that it was condoned, that it went on a media tour where everyone was like, this little kid making faces, and no one thought to call the kid out and make a,
you know what I think it was too, is that, how when little kids swear, everybody thinks it's the funniest thing, and they always say, don't laugh, because then they think that, it's good to do and that sort of thing.
Yes.
I think because when he was doing that, I think it's the kind of same thing.
Yeah. So was it kids being kids, or is that something that should be admonished and make a teaching moment out of?
Well, talk to him after the fact for sure, obviously. But at the same time, how do you expect that you're going to put your first grader and in there, even if you talk to him ahead of time and say, don't do this, be in your best behavior, and you're sitting up there rambling for like 30, 40 minutes about stupid nonsense, the kid's going to get fidgety.
I feel like things are getting revised slightly from last week. I feel like I was the one saying this was bad parenting, and you guys were more the kids will be kids, and you can't expect a first grader to have good manners.
No, I didn't say kids will be kids, but I wasn't surprised that the kid did it.
And I don't know if it was bad parenting. I don't think it's time for him to come on and be like, I had a long talk with my son. I assure you this will never happen again.
Perfect time. Other people like the Kardashians are watching you. You have to set an example. Let other parents know.
It's not my job, dude.
You're a congressman. You're an elected leader. Come on. We're interviewing about your parenting style because your kid's doing something inappropriate in public. That would seem like the perfect time.
You said that, no one, the media shouldn't be jumping on this saying it's cute and stuff. It's not my fucking problem to raise your kid, dude. Raise your fucking kid. I don't have a kid that did this.
I'm not saying you should have taught the kid a lesson. I'm saying that it was an example of bad parenting, and I feel like that got pushed back on.
All right. Well, that's your opinion.
We need to roll the tape. You said I was naive.
I think that is naive to be able to say, like, expect that, I would have had a talk with this kid first and after, and that it would have changed anything. That's what I think's naive. I think he's a little kid, and his brain is not fully formed, and he's you can do your best as a parent. Should you take some action? Sure. Maybe it's naive to think that your kid, had you done that, wouldn't make the same choice as well. All I was saying was naive.
Well, listen, it was an example of bad parenting, and I definitely felt like I got pushed back here on that concept that a 6-year-old shouldn't be expected to have good manners in public. That's what I felt like was getting pushed back on. That he's 6. Come on, he's 6. You can't expect a 6-year-old, right? I mean,
you can expect it, whether or not they follow it. I mean, an expectation is one thing. It's set so you're let down at the end of the day,
Well, sure, but then the parenting has to kick in. You got to teach the kid a lesson. And certainly on the interweb, I got several people saying, what does this asshole even have kids? And how do you know he didn't talk to the kid?
Apparently they didn't listen to the show. Go listen to the damn show. And you know that Steve does. He has 2.
Exactly. And as soon as I pointed out to the one, I got 2, and they knew how to have good manners in public in first grade, and silence was the response to that.
Of course, yeah.
They never keyboard warrior, dude. I mean, they never stick around to have the discussion.
I know. I was hoping for a little more interaction back and forth, but I don't know. This concept that he's 6 and we shouldn't expect him to have good manners, I thoroughly disagree with. And I got two opinions this week from people I value and trust their opinions on.
Okay.
I would just share those as a backing up of what I was trying to say, that it is okay to expect a first grader to have good manners in public and at mom and dad's job.
Yeah.
The first one was, yes, my girlfriend, who is a educator. She's a principal. She's worked at elementary school. She's about to be the principal of an elementary school. And It was kind of funny. She's starting to get on this bandwagon of she doesn't really like this whole Steve was right concept.
Yeah, you think?
Everyone's sick of it. I get it. But so she begrudgingly, I felt, was like, yes, a first grader should be expected to have good manners. Like, you're right. Okay. Like, oh, so a professional educator that works with first graders agrees that, yeah, they should know how to have good manners. And if not, you, of course, should make a teachable lesson out of it. It's not just kids are kids and you shouldn't expect it.
All right. So we got one unbiased opinion. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, listen, I feel like if she disagreed, she would love to point out that she disagreed with me. The other person. Yes.
You know, when you're in relationships and, we hear all the time, especially as guys, we say like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like sometimes you just be quiet and nod and agree so you don't get into a debate or argument about something stupid.
Oh, sure.
Maybe this is one of those, dude, where she's like, Yeah. I mean, listen, 6-year-olds are eating their boogers and shitting their pants, dude. I mean, should they be expected to? Of course. Can you expect them to? Sometimes, maybe,
It's not going to be consistent. It's going to be a lot less, and that's part of the growth process. That
yes. Yeah. And this is where parenting comes in, where they go astray and you try to course correct. But again, I just feel like I got pushback from you guys and from the interweb that you shouldn't expect a first grader to have good manners in public. And I
never said that. I can guarantee you I never said that.
Well, you said he was just a squirmy kid being squirmy, and you kind of were like kids being kids. That was kind of the
No, that's not what I said.
Well, you said he was just being a squirmy kid, right? I mean, well, to me, that sounds like you're saying kids will be kids. If you were saying
okay.
Well, what did you mean? Go ahead.
I told you already. You know what I mean? You can't. You've got a 6-year-old that you're putting there, and for a long period of time. If it was like just a regular photo op, then the kid's going to be okay. You're setting yourself up for something like this to happen when you set a kid down for like a half hour, 45 minutes to an hour on camera, and expect him to absolutely be absolutely perfect. Especially at that age.
Long time for a kid to sit through something.
You do going into that sort of thing, you're setting yourself up for failure, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I get that someone may get fidget after 45 minutes, but making weird faces and all that was just bad manners.
No, that's what 6-year-olds do.
So you should not expect a 6-year-old to be able to maintain themselves.
For 45 minutes? No. I mean,
squirmy and fidgety is different than inappropriate behavior.
What do you want? What do you want? Steve was right? There you go. Steve was
I'm
right.
just asking you to clarify what you're saying.
Steve was right. Yeah, I just told you.
All right, never mind. So the other person that weighed in on this thing posthumously on the topic of should you be expecting first graders to have good behavior, and if they don't, should you be trying to course correct them?
Yeah,
is a guy wearing a Gorge Crew shirt today. I see.
Oh, me? I'm
Nick Reynolds. Everybody.
Posthumously? Wow. When did Nick die?
I mean, retroactively after the fact. If I go backwards and replay old conversations we've had, that's what I mean by that.
I thought we were like channeling the spirit of Nick Reynolds for the show today.
What did I say? Wait, tell me, please, what I said.
So a year ago, I was dating a woman who had first graders and kids that were second graders, and these two little girls would kick me in the nuts, punch me in the nuts, try to drown me in a swimming pool, do all sorts of things that were bad behavior, bad manners. Yeah. And did you say that that's kids being kids, or did you say you should go to the parent and try to, this isn't okay. These kids need to be corrected.
They were physically violent. Yes, I think that needs to be corrected sooner than later.
Well, but they're 6, Nick. I mean,
no, it's not the same, dude. A kid being a kid and being a kid is goofy.
They punch kids on the playground all the time. They're pulling hair.
All the time, dude. I don't know anyone that I went to school with as a kid that age. Maybe 1 or 2 kids out of the whole school walked around punching people. I mean, that's a rarity. We're talking apples and oranges. A kid making faces,
physically lashing out is a rarity.
I think somebody walking up to a grown man, a kid walking up to a grown man, and when his mom isn't looking, punching him in the nuts and trying to drown him is fucking terrible behavior. And that's an anomaly. It's all bad behavior. Is my point. It
you
is
correct bad behavior.
You should. I never said you shouldn't course correct it, dude. You should course correct it, but it's not. You should. If it's your kid, you should course correct it. I shouldn't.
No, I'm not saying you should. I'm saying, again, should we expect first graders to be able to have good manners in public? Good manners being defined as, fidgety is still in the realm of good manners. You're antsy, sure, but being inappropriate on camera or physically lashing out or stealing things or hurting things, like these are all inappropriate behaviors that some people seem to feel are just kids being kids and you let it go. My point is that was bad parenting on behalf of that congressman. It was bad parenting on behalf of Dottie that she had kids doing that stuff and didn't seem to want to correct it because she again thought, they're first graders. We can't have expectations like that.
Parenting's a minefield, dude. I mean, it's parenting. It's parenting. Am I not right?
It's an easy answer. It's bad parenting. From Kim Kardashian to Jim Rose or Jeff Rose or whatever, it's bad parenting. And it's why our society is unraveling.
But how is this Steve is right segment, though, if everyone disagrees with you?
Because some people are wrong. Is the point. I got the opinion of a career professional and of my best friend. I thought those were two good advocates to say, you should expect better of a first grader.
Yeah, you should. You can expect it. Whether it happens or not is not just, we're beating a dead horse, dude. Come on. We're beating a dead horse. This guy, if this is a 10-year-old, I have entirely different expectations. I will say that.
Okay. That's preposterous, but okay.
Okay. Should we listen to our caller on the comment line? See what they say about this? Okay.
I would like to know.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Hey, this is Jude, long-time listener, first-time caller. I was just listening to you discuss the representative giving the speech with his misbehaving child in the background. I cannot believe no one, especially Brewski, didn't bring up Rudy Giuliani in the exact same situation maybe a decade ago, maybe 2 decades ago. It even became an SNL skit. I highly recommend you go back and watch because it didn't work out so well for that kid's dad. So check it out. Bye.
All right. So this is nothing new, dude.
I'm not saying it's new, but are you guys going to defend Giuliani now as being some good parent?
Well, that was a completely different story, and I'll tell you why. Okay. Because his kid was climbing all over the podium. if you watch the video, and then also
he wasn't drowning anyone, so it's okay. I mean,
no, but the thing about it was like the press is right in front of Giuliani, and when they did the bit on SNL, they had Chris Farley playing the part of the kid. Exactly. Yeah. It really, it really is. I mean, he said climbing all over the place, and it's way over the top.
Here's the good news, Steve.
I love the splitting that's going on here, but fine.
Here's the good news. I'm not a parent.
The horse is dead. You're correct.
I'm just, I'm coming at it from a place of inexperience. So,
all right, this poor horse. I'm so sorry, horsey. We're beating the shit.
So sorry, horsey. Okay.
This is need to know news.
But by the way, Jude seems to be agreeing with me.
This is stand by for news.
All right, Nick, you're brilliant. I'm wrong. All right, someone mark it down. I was wrong.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, I don't have any Trump things on my list today either because, I think we all have Trump fatigue. The topic of this upcoming election, however, I'm not fatigued there. I'm ready to battle on strong. Did you know that President Biden and Barack Obama sat down with Jimmy Kimmel?
Yes.
You did? Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it, but I know that there was a big fundraiser in L.A. recently. Yeah. They took in $30 million.
That's right. One thing I thought was fairly interesting that Jimmy Kimmel asked Biden and Obama, and I think this is something for everyone to really think about. And if it doesn't scare the crap out of you, then maybe you don't have a beating heart. Okay? Okay.
These very personal, intimate decisions are now being made by 9 unelected judges, one of whom flies his flag upside down. One of the others drives around in a $267,000 gift. And I think we are all wondering, what can we do about this?
Elect me. Again, I'll tell you why. No, I'm not just saying. The next president is likely to have 2 new Supreme Court nominees. 2 more. he's already appointed two that have been very negative in terms of the rights of individuals. The idea that if he's reelected, he's going to appoint two more flying flags upside down.
Could this be the scariest part of all of it?
Well, I think it is one of the scariest parts of it. Look, the Supreme Court has never been as out of kilter as it is today. I mean, never. I taught constitutional law for 9 years. The fact of the matter is, this has never been a court that's been this far out of step. And by the way, when we said after the decision that overruled Roe v. Wade, the Dobbs decision, you had Clarence Thomas talking about the fact that there are going to be other things we should reconsider, including in vitro fertilization, including contraception, including, by the way, gay rights. Marriage. But by the way, not on my watch. Not on my watch.
That's scary. That the two more people in our Supreme Court will change during the next election. I mean, that's the thought process anyway, right? If Trump puts two more in there, can you imagine what this country looks like? You know, first of all, we had Brett Kavanaugh. That was a huge issue, and he talked a lot about Roe v. Wade and said, "Oh, I wouldn't change it." Amy Barrett said the same thing. "Oh, I wouldn't change it." And yet here we are with that changing. Now they're trying to get IVF off the table, contraception off the table, and like Barack pointed out, gay marriage. I mean, if all these things are gone, I don't recognize the country that we live in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the problem is we're already there. Two more doesn't actually matter. They already have the conservative majority. So all of these things are already at risk. We're already living in this dystopian future where unelected judges like this, yes, can start taking away rights that we've had for years and start directly affecting lives. These people will be on the bench for way beyond Biden or Trump or anyone else. So,
and that's why it matters, though, don't you think? Is because if we put two other freshies that have another 50 years or 30 years to be at the bench, I mean, we're fucked for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we're already fucked for a long time. So will it make it more fucked? Yes, I suppose it would, but we're already fucked. And I become a huge advocate for the idea of balancing the court. That every president should just stop with this partisan court thing. That is not what the Supreme Court was designed to be. We should not know what any of their political leanings are. That should not matter. But it is the reality of what has happened. So I think Biden right now should balance the court because he can do it. He could appoint 50 judges there. So if we got a 5-3 tip or whatever it is now, or 5-4, what are we at?
Yes, 5-4.
Yeah, so put another fucking liberal on there. Now you got 5-5. They appoint a conservative, you appoint it should be even. Yeah, that is what the premise was, and that is what it should be. And how about some accountability? I mean, all of these ethics violations we're seeing of late, yet John Roberts just won't even hear it. They won't allow any sort of oversight. They won't allow Congress to get involved. Like, how did they become the rogue wing of our government that there's no accountability in place? And as much as I want Biden to be reelected and to get two more liberals, that is not the point. We should not be going tit for tat. It should not be this chess game of conservatives versus liberals. And because it's so far out of whack, we need somebody to rise above it and say, enough is enough. We will from now on stack the court to 100 justices if we need to make it 50-50.
If you have a problem with a fair and balanced Supreme Court, then you are not a patriot. You are not, you don't believe in what we're doing here.
That's right. I thought you were about to suggest hiring the A-team. If you have a problem,
maybe you can hire the A-team.
And get in that some little B.A. Baracus.
This is the only news you need to know. After all, this is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
It's time for another brewski. This one is a crazy brewski.
Gentlemen, I too, like Steve, am going to bring you a parenting story.
All right.
Trey Gowdy, former senator from, I believe, Alabama, had an interview with the current senator, and this current senator is actually going to become a father in August. And it leads to a lot of questions like, who the hell impregnated the woman? Because it sure the hell wasn't this guy. I'm speaking of Tim Scott, senator from South Carolina. Now, let's remember, Tim Scott is not married.
Do we think he's gay?
I was about to say, he got engaged to his beard last summer.
Okay.
Technically, he could impregnate her. I mean, he may have to close his eyes, but
let's be honest here. They got there's someone else who did the work for him. I guarantee you.
He could have made a donation, and they did the old turkey baster thing too. I mean, just saying. There's options.
Okay, but here's the problem too.
Yeah.
Tim Scott is a Republican who says he's a Christian, and don't Christians always speak out against premarital sex?
They sure do.
They speak out against it. Do they follow that? No.
No, but nonetheless, this is another problem. But the main problem for me is, a gay man, with his beard. How did she get pregnant?
Right. Are they actually married now, or are they not?
No, they haven't gotten married yet. They're just engaged.
So, yeah, I mean, regardless of our theories that he seems clearly gay, you're right. That's premarital sex. How is that not an abomination? It's an abomination, I hear.
That is an abomination.
In case anybody doesn't know, God calls it an abomination. It's an abomination.
God wants you to pull out.
Yes, he does.
As a matter of fact, it says here, his fiancee Mindy Nose is pregnant. They were asking him how it happened.
Science test?
No. They said, did you use IVF? Are you adopting or
she
what?
Swallowed because babies come from the stomach. That's what they're taught in the South. So
yeah. And what did he say?
He was just saying that they're expecting and that they had set a wedding date for early August. So she's then it's a shotgun wedding then, because she is expected to give birth in August, and maybe they're trying to get married before the little bun comes out of the oven.
Yeah. There used to be a time when Christians and Catholics had some sort of accountability for elected officials, but between Trump and people like this, then no, they don't. It's the classic hypocrisy. They care when they're pushing it on you, but not when they're looking in the mirror. Here's my real problem with all of this. What did you call her at the beginning of the story, Brewski?
His beard.
Yes. I don't like that term, because when I tell people I have a beard, I don't like that my beard has become a synonymous thing for hiding my homosexuality.
But Steve,
take that word back. Okay.
That term predates. I mean, that goes way back.
All right, and who are you telling people that you have a beard? Are you you tell people that?
Yeah, it's a common conversation topic. I hang up a lot of blind people, and they don't know that I do.
Yes. So you could just kind of walk over and take their hand and put it up on your face and let them feel it. Or is that kind of like a little too odd?
Yes. There's a whole thing now, like where men are more masculine looking with beards. Somebody photoshopped a picture of Mark Zuckerberg with a beard, and all of a sudden he looked like Chris Martin from Coldplay. Like, men look better with beards has been this new trend going on. And I don't like saying, like, yes, I have a beard. On dating apps, like, do you like the beard? I have a beard. I'm a beard guy. Like, that just sounds like I'm a closeted gay man now.
I think you can better stop talking about your beard, dude. I don't want you to talk about it anymore.
I will leave this with you guys, okay?
Please.
I would like to thank the state of South Carolina for being so progressive that they have 2 gay senators.
You're here. Here's to you, South Carolina.
Yes, here's to you.
Yes. It's need to know news. News you need to know. Stop it!
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, so I got another. Steve was right, but this one, you guys have my back on this, so there's no need for divisiveness between the three of us on this topic. Okay, but we shall see. I'll start it off with the news story here. That's just disturbing and wrong. Every human semen sample contained microplastics in a new study.
Yep.
Yeah, that's. I think that's common in all of our poo, in our semen, in everything. I mean, we're consuming a lot of microplastics.
What is up with that? I mean, it's so omnipresent in our food chain, in the waters, and we've known for a while now they're finding it, in feces and other things inside our bodies, but now it's in our happy jizz. What to do
that sucks. I was just having this conversation with Rachel's aunt was over at the house last night, and unfortunately she just lost her husband to cancer, and we were talking about the high rates of cancer in this country and why they don't have it in other countries. I mean, some they do, but a lot that they don't. Sure. And it comes down to the way we process our food and what we put in our food. A lot of it anyway. I'm not saying that's the number one reason for it, but all the crap that we put in our bodies as far as food goes, and this country especially has made it very expensive to not eat those processed foods. To eat healthy has become, you have to have a second job to do it a lot of the time. And these microplastics, I mean, all kinds of shit is inside of us. Do we ever wonder why cancer grows so rampant in our bodies? And that's not to say other diseases aren't doing the same thing. I mean, we're killing ourselves.
Yeah, it's definitely not healthy. We've talked before about, my opinion that's pretty much facts, actually, that, Americans have gotten so fat because we changed our food. It's processed food that it's full with sugar now instead of fat. Sugar makes you fat. And yeah, I'm sure it leads to all sorts of health consequences. And having microplastics in everything we eat and consume, I mean, now it's just becoming reciprocal. Like it's in fish, now it's in cattle, so we're going to eat it, and then it just keeps on going.
Well, but it's also in the water supply too. So it's not just what we eat. It's also in the products that we use.
Yeah. No, for sure. And some of this may have originated in America, but certainly this microplastic thing, this is a global phenomenon. Oh, sure. It's a phenomenon.
It's a phenomenon.
Exactly. This study actually was based with men in China. And they took men from across China, urban, suburban, rural areas, and every single one of them had microplastics in their seminal samplings.
What does that do to, we just think it's terrible that it's in semen because we beat our meat. But now that it's going to be making all of our babies now have microplastics in them, right?
Yeah, it's not good. Mounting evidence indicates these now practically ubiquitous microplastics are detrimental to human health and appear to be tied to biological issues, hormone irregularities, and potential reduced sperm counts. Apart from human testicles that were also recently confirmed have microplastics in it, the pollution has been detected in people's lungs, blood, placenta, and even breast milk. And there's a long list of potential health consequences for having these things everywhere, but I don't know that we can even get rid of them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we have to have something that is going to get them out of our water. I mean, we're going to have to come up with a chemical or something, some sort of process that takes them out, and it's going to take years to get them out of the world, dude. I mean, we've created a big problem.
But going forward, you need to pass legislation that microplastics are not allowed to be put in any products whatsoever. You could do that.
You could in this country. And that's a good step. It's kind of like gun control. I hate it when people say it's not going to solve the problem immediately. Like, no, some of these solutions take generations, and it would. Even if we eliminated all microplastics today, it would take generations for this stuff to filter through and dissipate. But much like pollution issues, if America does it, it's not stopping everyone else from doing it. And if it's in the ocean waters and in our food supplies, this has to be sort of a global. Everyone needs to kind of give a shit that we have microplastics in our jizz now.
And good luck getting India and China to care about pollution, because they have no environmental standards there whatsoever. None
for
at
sure.
all.
But, hey, for better or for worse, men do seem to run this world. So, guys, do we not care that we have microplastics in our testicles and jizz? Is this not a unifying thing that we can all get behind?
We can all get on board with, getting these microplastics out of our jizz.
Yeah. No matter what political party you belong to, whether you're conservative or liberal, this is something we can all get together and get behind and support.
Yeah, if we don't, in 20 years, dude, we're going to turn into Barbie and Ken. I mean, we're just going to be plastic at some point.
Yes. Don't be a jerk. Advocate for clean jerks. Jerk offs. I'm working on the slogan, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll get back to you.
Well, I mean, in powerlifting, they do have a thing called the clean and jerk.
That's right. Maybe that's where we get it, dude.
Exactly.
Let's create a supplement called the Clean Jerk. And it takes microplastics out of your semen specifically. There's our $1 million idea, dude.
I like it. If it can be some sort of vaginal cream, then we could just up the romance from everyone. You know what I mean? It's a win-win at that point. You're saving lives, women. Come on.
We're going to get to work. That's what we can tell you.
Need to know news.
Hold on, I didn't get to what I was right about.
You didn't know what to.
I didn't get to what I was right about.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we've talked about this before on the show. I will just say I had a weird discussion come up this weekend about semen. Kennedy and I were talking about jizz, and a couple of I feel urban legends came up that I feel the need to push back on because I may have been told that I was incorrect on these things, and I may have done a little research. So, first thing, and this has come up in the show, so I'm pretty sure I know your answer. But, gentlemen, what determines the amount of ejaculate that a guy has? Like the actual amount?
How long it's been since you laid a load? Okay.
That's a single round of applause happening for you.
Yeah. All right.
Bruce,
I'm right.
Would you agree that that's a gigantic contributing factor? So how much comes out? When was the last time you dumped?
I mean, obviously, if the everything's been building up and that sort of thing, yeah. But there's still only so much that your body holds at any given time, too. But yeah, I would say that would be accurate.
I mean, do women think we just instantaneously reproduce that stuff? The tank is always full. Doesn't that scientifically make sense? That if you're dumping a tank, you got to wait for the tank to fill back up, right?
Yeah, our body's making it. Yeah. Like a toilet.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was told that the three of our opinions is not a good enough scientific pool to pull from to answer the question. So
this is your girlfriend told you this?
Yeah.
What was her theory on? What did she think?
Did she think it's like urine that we're just constantly producing it all the time?
No, she thinks the same thing that Amy Schumer thinks. Amy Schumer had a bit years ago about how the guy, my boyfriend always talks a big game, how he wants to bang me so hard, and then only a little comes out. Like, some women think that the amount of ejaculate is tied to how intense your orgasm is or how into the moment you are. Like, the more into it you are, the more that will come out.
No.
I can tell you, dude, that I've boned before, and if it's a second or a third bone for the day, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you have those big days. Like I won't have hardly anything that comes out. The orgasm is still 100% the same.
It is, of course. And never in a zillion years would I sit here and try to tell a woman that I know how ovaries work. Let me explain something.
Right, yeah.
I feel like I've got some firsthand knowledge, but I Googled it, so let me just read real quick here some of the things. There are a couple of factors. Age. Men, as they age, they can produce less semen. So, okay. Sure. Health. Certain medications or surgical procedures can reduce ejaculate. Okay. That's not the masses, though.
No.
Lifestyle. Strengthening the pelvic floor. I don't even know what the pelvic floor is or how I would do an exercise for that.
This would be the Kegel for men. You know what I mean?
So the stronger my pelvic floor is, the more that shoots out, I guess.
The more you push down on it and you work those muscles, when it comes out, it actually forces things. It's like any muscle that if you work the muscle, it becomes stronger. When those muscles are strong, then it will make the bullet come out quicker.
Right. It probably wouldn't increase the amount of bullets, though. It may just shoot.
No.
Right.
All that has to do with is throwing ropes. Like, oh yeah, I can get it all the way across the room, or I could just get it on your stomach. That's just the muscle part, but it's the same amount.
Right. The other thing on the list of lifestyle as to why men may not come as much, increasing the time between ejaculations. Not ejaculating for a couple of days can increase the amount of semen.
100%. I mean, if you're a man and don't know that, there's something wrong with your brain. You should go to the doctor. We've known that since we were in middle school, dude.
Thank you. But apparently women do not know this. So besides from some other mitigating factors, that's the main determining as to how much comes out. When was the last time you dropped a load?
That's right.
You go.
Yeah.
And then real quick, another urban legend I've heard before about semen, and I'm pretty sure this started with women that don't want to swallow, but have you ever heard that semen has a ton of calories in it? That it has as many calories as a Big Mac if you're to swallow a load?
I wouldn't be surprised by it, but I've never actually.
I think a woman came up with that. I think a woman came up with that, right? Come on. Like,
I used to listen to Love Line with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla, and this question used to come up. How many calories are in men? On the high end, apparently we blow about a teaspoon's worth. So they used to ask Dr. Drew all the time, how much calories is in semen? So I looked it up for the record because I was told that there's as many calories in a single load as is in a Big Mac. So a Big Mac has 563 calories. Anyone want to guess how much a single load of cum has?
Yeah, I want to guess. I'm going to say 15 on the high side.
Nick Reynolds today, everybody.
Wow.
The average load has 5 to 25 calories.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
The exact average would be 50.
Okay, but even if it had a lot of calories in it, it kind of goes back to the whole thing when you asked me about not getting fries when I was at McDonald's and that sort of thing. The calories really going to make a difference,
right?
In your day. Yeah, you know what I mean? Even if it were 500 calories, I mean, is it really going to put that many pounds on you? How many loads are you swallowing?
I mean, an extra 500 calories a day could make a difference depending on your diet. But Nick is
how
correct.
often
This came up by women who don't want to swallow.
Exactly.
Listen, this is the same
that is
thing.
Not the point of our discussion, by the way. But yes.
No, there is some scientific evidence. The first time I heard this, I thought, oh yeah, a guy came up with that. That's fantastic. That, semen is good for your skin. It's got, it'll make your wrinkles go away and everything. Yeah. I thought, oh, that had to be come up with by a guy. It's a great thing to tell your lover. But it's actually, they've done scientific study on that, and that's actually true. How much benefit is there in it? That's for you to decide and try. But there is benefit.
That's why they call it a facial, right?
That's right. Steve, I'd say you were right.
Thank you. I knew we'd agree on this one, so I'm glad we could end on a harmonious topic.
Yes,
of course.
100%. Hey, see our comment line on your telephone. You just press 844-48 vocal, and then you can leave a comment or talk shit.
Either, just don't do neither. Find our social medias. We're on all the good ones. Share them, and check out the website if you want. It's vocalminority.net.
Brewski, please, if you will.
Look out, it's coming for your eye.
And we say bye-bye.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Stop.